Christian's long time working with Red Bull is now over, and this British guy needs to think about what job he wants next. There are a couple of teams that might want to hire him, but it looks like Alpine has the best chance of getting Christian to work for them. Will this be a smart choice when we think about Alpine's problems right now? And what's even more important, what are all the choices that he has on his first day after leaving Red Bull? After 20 years as the boss of Red Bull, winning 6 team prizes and 8 driver prizes, his time there has come to an end. The fighting inside Red Bull has completely ruined any chance he had to stay as the team boss and the big boss of the team. And even though he still works for the team, that will change once a better job offer comes his way. And what better way? To show Red Bull they were wrong than becoming a team boss at another team and proving that the problems in the Austrian team wasn't because of him, even though everything hints that the main issues could be traced back to him. Alpine is a team that is going through a lot of changes right now, and the main problem they have is finding a second driver who can get points regularly. Not that Gasly has been amazing at getting points, but at least he has 11 compared to Ocon and Colapinto, who have 0. Briatore took over as the team boss from Oliver Oaks, but it doesn't seem to be going very well for him so far. Besides the drama and the kind of person he is, Flavio hasn't really done a great job as a leader in a struggling team. What the Enstone team needs right now is knowledge, steadiness, and someone who has a proven record of winning. Let's not forget that after Vettel's last championship in 2013, Horner's team had a lot of problems getting out of the darkness from the terrible time with Renault, and he took a big risk with a move to Honda, one that turned out to bring them back on track when it mattered the most. So we can talk about him whatever we want, and the accusations that finally ended his time at Red Bull. But he is probably the best team boss on the grid right now, and he's looking for a job. A very interesting situation here in Alpine is the setup that is currently in place in the Enstone team. Briatore is technically an advisor of the team, while Steve Nielsen has been chosen as the managing director and basically a team boss. Still, I said earlier in the video that Briatore is the team boss, and that's not a mistake. He's the one making the decisions, making everything seem a lot more complicated. Let's not forget that Horner's arrival in Alpine doesn't necessarily mean that Briatore is not going to be part of the team anymore. Actually, the opposite. These two are very close friends, and they go all the way back to the mid-2000s. So if Briatore is able to get Horner to work for them, it could very well mean that both of them will be responsible for bringing the team back to its glory days. Yep, a big challenge. Here is the fact that he is known as the man to blame for the leaving of important people, and his careless comments. That one man doesn't make the team didn't really turn out well. But a change of environment and learning from your own mistakes is something that Briatore knows better than anyone else. So, the partnership with him could be the best possible choice for the upcoming time. There is a little bit of a problem here. The number 1 driver in Alpine is Pierre Gasly. The French driver's relationship with him might not be at the best level wanted because he was fired from the Austrian team after just 13 races in 2019. He then went on to show amazing performance in AlphaTauri, and still wasn't given a second chance next to Max. So, I do believe that Alpine will have a serious talk with Gasly before they decide whether or not to continue trying to get his former team boss. The arrival of him could change things as we know it. It's a bit of a crazy scenario to believe that he is going to take over a role in Alpine, after being on top of the game for such a long time with Red Bull. But let's see what Jonathan Wheatley, the former sporting director of Red Bull, has done with In his first year as a team boss there, managed to see Hülkenberg get a podium for the first time after 15 years and 239 race starts, and Sauber is currently 6th place in the Constructors' Championship. It's a new challenge for Christian, and competitive people like him do well with these situations. The question is whether or not they're going to give him the chance to lead the team, after all of the controversial stuff that happened off track, and that's a very strong reason as to why his potential move to Ferrari is being hurt. Yep, Ferrari is in desperate need of a leader with Christian's ability. Tough, always realistic, and taking responsibility when it matters the most. That's everything that Vassar lacks right now, and even though Ferrari has taken a step forward with the French guy, it's not like they've been completely changed like they expected when they put him in charge. Instead of Binotto, the constant talks of potential in the car needing to be brought out are getting tiring, and Leclerc and Hamilton will want to see results sooner rather than later. The realistic picture here, or the most likely thing that's going to happen, is that Vassar will be the team boss of Ferrari, at least in 2026, to prove to Elkan and Vigna that the new rules have been well understood by his team. But if he fails to do so, and he is still somehow available, which I highly doubt, then there is an opening for him to join Ferrari. The Maranello team are longing for the days of Jean Todt and Michael Schumacher, and I know for a fact that they'd do anything to have a similar team boss who can bring the tactics, decision-making, and overall performance to knife-edge perfection. He's the perfect candidate for that, but the things outside of the track have made us wonder whether a team would be willing to take on the risk to have him on their team. To make matters even worse for his potential move to Ferrari, it seems like the team has already started the talks with Vassar in order to continue the collaboration in the newly regulated era. Of course, this is all but guaranteed, and the availability of him could change everything as we know it. But But at the end of the day, the reports state that the controversy with his behavior with the female employee is something that Farad doesn't want to let in their own house. How strangely the entire situation looks. Pushy and inappropriate behavior. He's been proven innocent, but it still hurts his chances of getting a position as a team boss in an F1 team. Ferrari did have interest in him not that long ago, and the British guy had to deny it by saying that his Italian is even worse than Briatore's English. So you would think that this interest would be only brought back after the latest development of events. But reports from Italy state that because of all the drama behind closed doors, the interest in him is close to zero. What needs to be said is that he needs to serve a gardening leave before the end of the 2025 season. So whatever job he's going to accept in the following time, it's going to start from January 2026. It also means that the team he's going to lead won't be able to blame him if they are not doing well in the first year of the newly regulated cycle. So apart from these two teams, what are some other wildcards that he can use in order to save his F1 career as a team boss? Well, there have been talks about him joining Aston Martin, and because we know how Lawrence Stroll always wants to pick the best from the best, I can see the Canadian billionaire making an offer towards him. However, there is bigger fish to fry here. Adrian Newey, the technical partner of Aston Martin, left of course because of all the internal power struggles in Red Bull that were supposedly caused by him. So, to work together again with the man that ultimately destroyed Red Bull, as we know, it would be a paradox in itself. But what about some other roles that are not related to being a team boss? He has been in the sport since 2005 and part of the takeover that Red Bull completed on Jaguar. So why not be the FIA president? I think the answer behind that is quite simple. The accusations left a dark spot on his career regardless of whether or not they're based on real events. All in all, he has quite a difficult time in front of him. And quite honestly, I don't think he'll have an easy time finding a job because of the way that Red Bull ended his contract. With all this in mind, do you think that Alpine is the best solution for Christian Horner? And more importantly, do you think that he could save the Enstone team and put them in the right direction once and for all? What do you think's going to happen? Let us know in the comments below. And once you do that, make sure to check out the video that's appearing on your screen right now.